Hello, everybody. It is I, JayAvereé, here with our 5th episode of Zoom In with Outside Think. I am here interviewing Steve Helmrich from Aerophlix Media. How are you doing today, Steve?
Doing great. And yourself, JayAvereé?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. So we are here asking the questions. What were the hardest things you had to learn coming up as a creative artist? So just answer to the best of your ability, the most natural way possible, and then we'll get to it.
All right.
Hope you guys enjoy and learn something. All right. First question. So what is the hardest lesson that you've had to learn in your creative journey?
Hardest lesson I have learned: to value your creativity. The only person that's ever going to value you is yourself. So if you don't value your own creativity, nobody else will.
Okay. And so what does that look like? How exactly would you say that could look like? How do you value yourself and your creativity? And how does that apply to you and your brand?
If I am shooting video and I feel like my ability to shoot video is not that good, you will be able to tell that. You will see that in the videos that I'm shooting. You will see that when I'm talking with clients. So that's how that would look on a negative impact.
Okay. So what about a positive impact?
Well, clearly, if you value your skills and your ability, creatively wise, you'll see it in your work. Same thing. You'll be excited to go out there and for me, shooting video, and you'll be excited to show the world the work that you've done.
Okay.
So
I feel that way about my music.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm an artist. If you guys don't remember from the last time, I do a lot of different things. Perform poetry. I do like to write things and do interviews as well. Great networking, all that stuff. And hair. This time my hair glows in the dark.
And tomorrow?
Tomorrow it will still glow in the dark. Okay. So ready for your next question?
Yes.
Can you share a time when a collaboration went off the rails? What happened? And why do you think that happened?
The time that a collaboration went off the rails, I would say there's quite a few times at the beginning. You're doing a collaboration with a company and you're shooting video, for example, and you put everything together and everything looks great, but they're not doing anything on their end as far as sharing your video that you made with them, or if they're not following through with their expectations.
Okay, so you have to have a joint mission, a joint vision, and you both have to do your part. You can't just have everything lead up to the end result and then it not go anywhere, basically what you're saying.
Right.
So it just eliminates the whole process.
Well, and it's one-sided.
It's one-sided.
Because it's no longer collaboration.
That makes sense. Okay, so I guess I want to go further. People might have different definitions of a collaboration. So that would be your definition of a collaboration. Some people think a collaboration is when you've put your effort together to make it. So I guess there's a third part to it that is never a part of the definition of collab.
Correct.
Right? Cool. That was a good one. Okay, third question. Have you ever ignored warning signs on a project, and what was the fallout?
Yes. So got to an assignment, got to a shoot, and started setting everything up, only for my client to change pretty much every aspect of the entire shoot. So from the location to even a couple of the actors.
Oh, that's a lot. That's pretty much the whole thing.
Yeah. So yeah, needless to say, I'm not working with them again.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't think that maybe a conversation about that could have changed it, or?
We had a conversation about that.
So was it the response that they had that?
Correct. So they wanted to have that fluidity, constantly changing things around. And when you're filmmaking, you can't do that. Everything has to be shot on purpose.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was a good answer. So is there a time where you had a fallout that you were able to get past that?
Oh, plenty of times. Just as an example would be on the line of contracts. So one of the ways that I make sure I don't have that problem anymore would be having contracts with very specific detail on each shoot that we do. And then that way everybody's on the same page. And in the time, my client did not realize that there were some things in the contract that were left out. And so we had to go back and change it so that we're all on the same page, like I just said. So
communication is, and then you have to have things in paper and writing so that they are backed up. That's important. Okay. Fourth question. That was a good answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
What's one branding mistake you made early on, and how did you recover? If it's the same answer, then you come with a different example.
That one would have to say offering video services for free.
Good one.
So I think a lot of people get stuck in this rut where they're unsure of their own skills. And so they will automatically lower the value of what they're doing because they're unfamiliar with that genre.
Okay.
In filmmaking.
Could you go in a little bit more? As a creative artist, it can be pretty difficult to put a price on what you know you're worth, based on, because you need kind of need outside validation a little bit, and your reach and all of that goes into how much you feel like you're worth. And so how were you able to get to a point where you came up with pricings that made you feel like you were worth that without feeling shameful or doubtful, especially with people that you've worked with for free before, and then you had to give them a price after that?
So originally, the way I had done that is I reached out to other people who had been shooting that same type of video.
Okay.
And then just asked them ballpark prices on what they shot, because I didn't want to undermine other people in my industry.
Makes sense.
So if their shoot is a $1,800 shoot for a real estate video, I don't want to offer $800 and end up undermining everybody who has worked hard to get to where they're at.
That makes sense.
So that was probably my big thing. And then the way I went from being the guy that was shooting all the real estate video for free, the next client. So the way I did it is, for the first 3 clients I did for free and they liked the work I did, I moved it up. I moved my price up a little bit. And then I would have 3 more clients at that same price. And then I would just keep raising my price that way until I got to a happy medium where I didn't have 3 people right away jumping at my price. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Yeah, so it's an increment. So you feel more comfortable with that level before you get to the next one. And so do your clients as well. So you're not just in their face, and then you're not also feeling too shameful about those big jumps too. Yes. Increments. Cool. Thank you. Great. Great. You learning something? I hope you are. Because I am. Alrighty. So we are on the 5th question. Tell me about a moment you burned out. Oh, good one. A moment you burned out. What led up to that? How do we stop ourselves from getting there? Burnout's real for an artist, especially one that's doing a lot of different things. Doing too much. That is the key. So what I mean by that is, in the example that you were asking about, I was rehabbing homes. So I had 2 homes that I was renovating by myself, and then at the same time creating videos for my video production company. Mm-hmm. And what ended up happening is I ended up having 2 heart attacks in 1 year. Oh my. So that's shout out to Steve for getting a second life. Yes. That's man. Had to slow things down, shut my doors down for my remodeling, and put all my focus into my video production. Okay. So how would you, because there are some people that can juggle multiple things and do it very well. I think I would say it's like time management. But what would you say if you had not, this is a tough one, if you don't mind answering this one. If you did not have your heart attacks that told you that you were too burnt out, how do you think that you would have managed? Would you still be doing those 2 things together, do you think? Or was that the thing that made you feel like you were doing too much? I was already at the mindset that I didn't want to be rehabbing homes and working on my video production company. Starting out, you have to put in anywhere from 60 to 100 hours a week just in starting your own business. Yeah. Unless you've got the capital to do so, where you hire people outright. Okay. And so since it was just me, I had to invest more time than money because I didn't have money.
That's a thing for
So
entrepreneurs. Yes. You usually work 90-hour work weeks and get maybe a little bit, but then sometimes it reverse eventually once you're consistent enough. Okay. Well, that was a deep one. Thank you for getting vulnerable on that. I appreciate it. Okay. Sixth question. What is the most you've overspent on a creative endeavor, and was it worth it? Ooh, fun details.
creative,
Yeah.
probably in the upwards of $5,000.
$5,000. Oh, what did that money go towards? What was the project?
Marketing, multiple projects, multiple concepts that we needed to execute.
Mm.
So that included a VRBO and lunches and dinners for everyone.
Yeah.
And events. Getting into events always costs money. So putting money into events for the experiences so that you could actually shoot those videos as well.
Okay.
So it all
Marketing.
became marketing, yeah.
I've been told that marketing is more on the expensive side rather than production, because you have to keep it going. It's almost like when you buy a home, and my dad, who's very smart, talked to me about when you buy a home, you have to also be able to think about the maintenance of that home. Same thing with a car, right?
Yes.
You get a car, you want to make sure you can have enough to get gas in it and oil changes and all that breaks. And so unless you find out how to do it yourself,
This is correct.
which you can learn. This is kind of cool. Okay, good one. All right. And what have you felt creatively blocked? Or when have you ever felt creatively blocked? And what did you do to pull through that? Because that happens all the time.
When I realized I was in a creative block,
Mhm.
took a road trip.
Road trip.
For me, being behind the wheel of a car.
Same.
So yeah, driving clears your mind when you don't have that pressure of performing and you just have an open road and you don't know where you're going to go. Or maybe you do, but you just have that time to think.
Decompress and just feel in control of something without being in control of something, but you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only true drivers know that feeling.
I'm a true driver. I like to drive. I also clear my head when driving as well. Or doing my hair. There's a lot of time to think. And then, I don't know. Creative blocks, talking, for me specifically, talking to other people about it gets me out of that rut. Or sometimes reading about whatever it is I need to be doing. Learning new things, it could spark ideas.
True.
Things that exercise the mind. It could get that creative rut out. So, or sleep. Sometimes you just have ideas in your dreams. Like I learned how to knit and crochet when I was dreaming. And I went to bed and I was so mad. I couldn't figure it out. I went to bed mad thinking about it. And I remembered what I did in my dream. And then I did it waking up. And I was correct in that process. Speaking of fact, I should probably get back to knitting and crocheting blankets. But that's another thing. It's another story.
Glow in the dark.
Glow in the dark blankets would be so cool.
Kind of.
But then they'd keep you up. That's what my dad
That's why I
asked
said
me
kind of.
about my hair. But I'm like, well, if you're sleeping, you won't see it.
It's not that bright.
I'm enjoying this interview. Are you enjoying this so
Of
far,
course.
Steve? All right, cool. So we have 3 more questions to go, everybody. You're hanging in there. I'm proud of you. And like I said, make sure you write in the comments any of your thoughts and ideas that you've gotten from this and what you appreciated about this video most. All right, moving on. Have you ever said yes to the wrong client? What did you learn other than the person who decided to keep changing everything up? Movie-wise, can we talk about your remodeling?
That's actually very easy.
Oh,
So yeah, easy to get into that situation when you are trying to start a business and you want to take on every job. So what ends up happening is you take on a job for a low investment price for the client, but then more things keep getting added on for your contract. And so it's a very easy trap to get into where next thing you know, you're doing all this work and you're not getting that income.
And your price stays the same. So have you ever, and this is off the top of my brain, you ever thought about So that was the contract that was locked in, and you said earlier that you were able to talk to that person and change the contract to match the needs and what's, being paid. So this wasn't something like that, or
No, that was part of the same learning experience actually, because then I learned to include added items. So then every time something was discussed, we would put it on a list and we'd both sign off on it.
okay,
So it's a client and myself.
what do they call it? I can't think of the
Added
term right
prices.
now. Is that what you call it in the actual
Yeah.
like you write it in the original contract, and then you say if additional things and you can add them later, you get to
Yeah.
say that in the contract?
Yeah.
Good one to learn.
And then have them sign off on it.
Okay.
And it would allocate added time for the contract.
Okay.
So
So allow the contract. You have to put specific things in the contract, but also have space for things to be added.
exactly.
And make that very clear that the price will not be the same if you're looking for more. Okay, cool. Thank you. What is a red flag you wish you'd noticed sooner in your partnership?
I've been very careful. So if you're going to say partnership, I haven't had any red flags because I'm careful who I partner with.
After you learned?
After I've learned, but I never had a partner where I had to learn from that. If that makes sense. So, for example, I've had a lot of people want to partner with me on my video and film production company.
Huh.
I would always listen to what they bring to the table, what they want me to bring to the table, and how we could work together to create a synonymous relationship working together as a partnership. And so far, there has only been one person that I would consider partnering with. And yeah, so I just haven't, I've been very cautious, if that makes sense. I take it very, very serious.
Hmm.
And so I'm not going to partner with anyone just to
Find out later.
find out later. Right.
So you've always kind of been that way.
Yeah.
So, well, now I'm curious to know how you. So you were just born that way, huh?
No. Probably read about it, learned about it.
Oh,
through,
okay. Because you can learn from other people.
Yeah.
Reading things.
Yes.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. I'm so glad you did your research before you decided to go into business and partners. You've been doing everything on your own up until now, and he is amazing at what he does. And I will add some of your footage to this, and so that you show them how great you are.
The person that I've
Yeah.
decided to partner with happens to be quite amazing. So, do you want to introduce yourself?
Thank you. I'm JayAvereé. Yeah, so I'm that partner. Yeah, we recently started working together. As the model, I make things easy for him to edit and film. Apparently,
Not only that, on the production side,
I'm
don't
still
be so
learning those
humble.
things. Okay, right? Got to know my price and my worth, right? Gotta
Exactly.
do that full circle thing.
Running cameras, yeah.
It is kind of fun learning about the things from you. I do feel very honored that you chose me
Yeah.
to partner with, and we've done a lot of
Okay.
really cool things up until this point so far. Traveling, learning things together, teaching things together. I think it's going to work out well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to him for these amazing microphones too. That was a him thing. All right, cool. So this is our last question. Thank you for hanging in with us so far. If you could warn your past self about one thing, what would it be? Other than doing too many things at once. Because you said that already.
Perfectionism.
Guilty.
Oftentimes we get in the habit of wanting everything perfect that we're set out to do. And that can hinder us more than help us. Because you start getting too hard on yourself and it's harder to have that positive mindset.
Yes, it is. I guess.
How do you deal with it?
Don't. I mean, I do kind of. Talking about it. Sometimes I woosah, I breathe. I say I did my best, and then I let it go, and then I learn from what I didn't like, and then I do it better next time. Or I take a break until I feel like I can do it again, until my mindset's better about it. I would say, now this is a good one. Perfectionism. I think the mindset about you want to be perfect in whatever that looks like. You want to strive for that, but knowing that you're not that, and you can't be technically because everybody's perfect is different anyway. So no matter what you put out there, it's going to be taken according to their level of whatever perfect is.
Of course, very subjective.
It's very subjective. So I think grounding myself in that understanding tells me that I'm already perfect in that way, you know?
Yeah,
And so
I'd
are
agree.
you.
We both
So
are.
are all of you.
We're all perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
That was a really good answer. I like that as the last question. Well, thank you
And I
again.
think it's perfect.
Yeah, thank you. This was amazing. Again, I am JayAvereé, your hostess with Outside Think. Zoom in, our 5th episode. Very successful. Thank you again, Steve, for coming on the show. And we will be back next time with an unknown topic we will discuss. You'll find out later. All right. And we're out.